20% of droids and bounty hunters, no Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, no people like that of any kind, no black pills, no SJWs, no Soilo fans, no stalkers. You're blocked if you show up. I'm just telling you that right now. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit today about, well, the title of this video, The Winds of Change. There's a massive upheaval going on in Hollywood. And the introduction of David Zaslav today, he's bringing his own team into Warner Brothers. People have worked with him at Discovery. This is a massive, I think, blow to the club. Okay, why? The club went after, Johnny Depp. Ann Sarnoff cut the Snyderverse out of the DCU, EU. These are people who have lorded over some of the biggest properties in the film industry, DC, etc. Okay, and they're gone. Jason Kilar is gone. I personally think he was hamstrung from the beginning. So he really didn't have a chance to do anything. And Sarnoff is gone, and others. And you're going to see a shift happening. And this is an indication that it's going to go Hollywood wide. I think the entire, and Hollywood's a small town. It's like DC. I mean, if you sneeze, in the Capitol building, somebody will get a suntight you at, the Department of Justice. Okay, that's how small Hollywood is. Okay, and it's getting wrecked right now. So first off, and a lot of it has to do with Warner Brothers. But Warner Brothers is one of the biggest studios, and it's been run by some of the most, in my opinion, egregious members of the club, and Sarnoff, for a while. Okay, now, she didn't run it long. She hasn't run Warner Brothers as long as Kathy Kennedy has run Lucasfilm, but she's up there with Kennedy. Okay, this is, when I look at this is, Tug yesterday pinned a comment somebody at Warner Brothers posted on his, on one of his videos, that Sarnoff was notified she was leaving an hour before it hit the press. That's how fucking ruthless Zaslav is. Now, do I wish he was coming into Disney? Yeah, because that wouldn't be Sarnoff. It would be Kathleen Kennedy. Kilar would be Kevin Feige. These people would be gone. Okay, I'm putting my own people in. Or I'm elevating Jon Favreau to this spot because he's doing a better job. Okay, that's exactly what would be happening. But it means so much to the rest of Hollywood. This is having a violent tidal wave effect, boom, like that, like a ripple effect, but it's like huge. Okay, first off, Hollywood, the rags, when I mean rags, I mean trades, etc., defended Amber Heard. Well, not only is David Zaslav striding into Warner Brothers like Wyatt Earp and Tombstone, Warner Brothers is being dragged in through the mud in that trial, okay? Jason Momoa is being dragged through that trial. Elon Musk, all right, probably, I'm not going to say too much just because I don't really think there's a lot there. And if he did pay for her upkeep, and of course, and this is the big one, a guy you've never heard of, but he's Carrie Fisher's baby daddy, Brian Lord. He is the most powerful agent and one of the most powerful people in the club. I mean, he is the club. I mean, there's a reason why there's there's such a gay presence in Hollywood to the point where it's nauseating. It's people like him, all right? He's testifying in this trial. This is going to be major league. You know, this is, I hope so, Krypton. I hope so. And then we've got, and this just happened, Mexican Iron Man sent me the Fox 4 video, and I'm probably going to do a video later on it, I don't know. Conservatives, all 10 of them left in California, went out by the hundreds and protested in front of Disney. There's a much bigger presence of people who are pissed off about Reimagine Tomorrow than the people who are trying to protect it during the walkout. Okay, more people showed up at this rally in California than showed up across the United States. Okay, all right. Now, how does Zaslav's just a minute. Is that my coffee? Just a second. I'll be right back. Oh, yeah, shit. Okay. Damn. I've been sitting here 15 minutes. I started a cup of coffee and I forgot it. Zaslav walks into Hollywood. How does it affect other studios? Already other studios are looking around going, where are we? What are we doing? What are we about? And Bob Chapek has been doing that. But now he sees that people like Sarnoff are fair game to fire. Okay? That's huge. Okay? And of course, now that we've got conservatives protesting, which is something on the outside looking in, Disney doesn't need. But it serves the purpose of Chapek and Arnold. Okay? Look at the language that Nadine Smith from Equality Florida used. It's specifically designed to make people afraid. This is propaganda. She knows people, she knows the people who wanted this law to protect parents' rights, or do not want to throw people in jail for being whatever. No, they want to protect their kids. Okay. Incidentally, now teachers are quitting Florida schools. Well, good. I tell you something. I don't know how many people out there have kids in grade school up to third grade. But if your kid comes home from public school and tells you his teacher showed the class questionable material that could be classified as prawn, you get on the phone with the police. Okay? You get on the phone with the police, and that principal, all right? And if there are materials that the teacher handed out with it, that's evidence. That teacher goes to jail. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything that violates anybody's constitutional rights by saying you can't talk about this stuff. You can't be explicitly talk about it if you're a teacher to little kids. Okay, look, if some guy in a white van with milk duds melting in his hand, sitting outside a playground, is a criminal, then the teacher doing the same thing inside school is criminal. Kyle, I don't either. As a libertarian, if you can't figure out a way to educate your children without the state, like let's say you work and but they've built the system to make people helpless to the point they have to send their kids. Okay. Public schools are there in places like inner city Chicago. We know how violent that is. They're in LA. We know how violent that place is. I mean, I lived in Washington, D.C. You can't imagine. Okay. The teachers' unions shoot down vouchers. So the parents who want better for their kids, who are stuck living in those shithole communities, okay, are forced to send their kid. Yes, I do, Yavin. I know they play right into his hand. I just said that. Forced to send their kids to these shitty schools with shitty teachers who run around, basically saying, do you want to hear what I did with my husband? And it's a guy this weekend. Let me tell you what I did with my wife. Or, what are your pronouns? Okay, that's grooming. That's grooming. It is that, where we're just trying to, alternative lifestyles. No. An 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, stay the fuck away from them. Okay? All right? Okay. Just stay the fuck away from them. I mean it. Okay? That's grooming. You can sit there and bitch and moan all you want. I'm being unfair. Am I being unfair? Look, everybody I know who has little kids is horrified by this. Okay? When you've got LaToya Ravenel running around saying she's trying to queer everything up as she goes along. And, and then, of course, I had some guy, I think his name is Kevin Davis, in comments attacking me for basically saying it's grooming. What the flying fuck is it? No family should not be exposed to that shit. Okay? All right? I'm sorry. Okay? Let me explain why. If you walk into a situation and your gut instinct is this isn't right, this isn't proper, something's wrong with this, guess what? Your gut is right. Okay? Now, you've got a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, and you take them to see Lightyear, and you see two fat fucking cunts macking on each other. How do you explain that to them? Why is that necessary? Why must you people have this shit in front of little kids? Why? You need to explain that to me rationally where it doesn't sound like you're grooming them or attempting to. Okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, that is exactly what is going on. Bob Chapek knows that. Susan Arnold knows that. David Zasloff knows that. Fuck, Brian Lord knows that. Okay? Look, the only way you can have a viable population of anything is if you make more. Follow the logic. Now, do I believe people that are just out there in the community working at, restaurants or running restaurants or radio stations or, welders who swing that way should be arrested? No. They're not predators. They're not basically attempting to bugger little kids. Okay, that's what this is. Everybody who wanted that bill passed knows that. And oh, by the way, the lady with the really short hair, if you go on to Valiant Renegade's video, the last one, and he shows her talking about the parks, she's probably the worst one. Okay? Her and the enabler, Carrie Burke. Okay? And the reason simply is this. Well, they're all bad. We need to have it everywhere. No, you don't. No, you don't. I mean, look. You're telling people we make you feel ashamed. That's on you. Okay? That's on you. All right? Again, if it feels wrong, if it feels unnatural, then guess what? Those fifis are your instincts. That's a little voice inside your head saying, get the fuck out of here, get your kids out of here. Okay? I'm telling you right now. I mean, I could go into why I really hate Marvel. I watched the second part of Moon Knight today, and I was like, it just, I barely can get through that show without falling asleep. It is so slow paced and so boring. And I gotta say, Oscar Isaac's Steven, I wanna beat the fucking shit out of him. He is a giant fucking pussy. Okay? I don't have any sympathy for that character. It's stupid. The only reason why I even remotely am curious about it is because I studied Egyptian history in college. And I was wondering, are they being faithful to the mythology of that culture? And they kind of are. Khonshu is the god of the moon. His name basically means journey, and the journey of the moon across the sky. There you go. It's just a really weird kind of, why did they make this thing? And I know that they feel like they've exhausted the main Marvel characters, but I kind of go, But anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about. So how does this Zaslav affect everything? Look, when I talk about what happened to Ann Sarnoff, that's fucking huge. People are going to minimize that. The black pills are going to say, well, she wasn't really as big as Kathleen Kennedy. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. She ran Warner Brothers. Okay. She was an untouchable until Zaslav came in and said, you're fired. Okay. You're gone. Now, Tug just posted a video. I'm going to watch it. That looks like Ezra Miller, of all people, is not going to come back because he's batshit crazy. We've got Brian Lord having to testify in the Heard versus Depp trial, which is going to absolutely embarrass the shit out of everybody in the club because they all tried to protect the bed pooper. Okay, it's like, why would you do that? And I mean, there are a lot of people out there saying, well, Heard's got the goods on everybody. She's a starlet. She's not Kathleen Kennedy even. Not even close. I believe that it was the virtue signaling of what they thought was an abusive man against a poor innocent woman. No. Other way around. Johnny Depp may be a lot of things. I don't like him. I never have. I think he's a skinny, scrawny, dirty-looking dude. The fact that somebody I did really like, Joaquin River Phoenix, who was his friend, was overdosing in front of him at the Viper Room, and he didn't stop his band to say, hey, River, do you need to go to an ambulance? All right. He was la, la, la on his guitar. Meanwhile, River's dying in a gutter. Okay. I don't like him because of that. I do blame Johnny for that. Personally. Okay. Should have never happened. All right. But, part of that's River's fault, thinking that those people who were his friends were his friends. What else? So yeah, I mean, this is going to kill a lot of the virtue signaling shit. Okay, now let's go to Disney. How does it affect Disney? Bob Chapek sitting back. You've read, if you have a Wall Street Journal subscription, Gerard Baker's hilarious mocking of the Disney Reimagine Tomorrow Committee of Demonic Plague. Okay? Yeah, that. So, obviously, Rupert Murdoch is not happy. Okay? You've got, so you got the shareholders, the big ones. Who owns the most shares in Disney? Rupert. Who is not happy about not getting paid? Rupert. Okay, yeah. Not a guy to fuck with. Okay. You know, LaToya Ravenel and Latondra Newton, you guys just pissed off the last old white man you should have. Okay? All right, so we got that going. So he's got that. Then he's got conservatives protesting in California, showing up in droves. If you don't think this doesn't play into his hands, you're an idiot. Now, you've got Ann Sarnoff being fired. An hour before it hits the press, she's told. That's how fast it happened. So, you've got Chapek looking at Susan Arnold, and they're both going, we could dismantle all this shit. And it would be, yeah, I had to jerry rig I'm waiting for new straps. No one would notice right now. I mean, Culture Casino just posted a video that CNN is now getting pink slips. Okay, fucking huge. This is going to reverberate all over Hollywood, and it's going to be repeated. Okay, it's not just Warner Brothers. It's not just AT&T saying, we're out of this. Okay, we're out of this. It's going to be Disney. I mean, look, I can't imagine having a bunch of worthless fanatics, rainbow brown shirts, yelling and screaming and bullying, trying to bully you, and you're the boss. And you're just sitting there taking it? No. So, Ann Sarnoff, that firing to me alone is the moment where executives in Hollywood who don't follow this bullshit are going, if she can be fired, I can fire this person and that person and that person. Okay, now, how does it affect Kennedy? I'm going to say she doesn't have anything current except for Indy 5. Okay, she's got nothing to do. She's absolutely doing nothing. Now, if she shows up at Star Wars celebration, meaningless, doesn't mean anything. Okay, they're going to give her her accolades. But if she does, she'll probably get booed. Okay, I'm telling you. When I saw her, I think it was D23, and Colbert, or maybe it was Celebration, Colbert introduces the plague, J.J. Abrams, and Kennedy gallops up with him. She was not going to be introduced by herself because she was terrified. She was terrified to going up there by herself because she was going to get booed if she did. Okay, this is the measure of this woman. And I'll tell you something else. She knows what she did. She knows why the fans are pissed off. Okay, now, you're Bob Chapek. You've basically taken away the children of blood and bone as per the author's request, and now Paramount's making it. You've delayed Indy 5 to next year. You've delayed or canceled everything else. You know, basically, in my opinion, I believe strongly that she may have signed that contract, but she was also told, we're asking you to retire. Okay? We're no more. No more of this. All right. I fully expect Chapek to get re-signed. I mean, I don't think the board or the investors are going to listen to Ravenel and Newton and the rest of these termites. They're eating at the foundation of Disney. That's what they are. They're termites. I mean, you know, just listening to WDW Pro and hearing what Carmen Smith did, just subtly changing things, taking out beautiful museum pieces out of Epcot, putting mediocre, crappy, shitty artwork from Seoul in it, and other things. You know, look, when I think of social justice, I think of, I'll give you an example. There were no bigger social justice warriors than the assholes who ran Germany in the 30s and the assholes who ran East Germany between assholes in East Germany between 1945 and 1989. Okay. I lived in Berlin. I studied there. I worked on the East Side. That was where my internship was. Every day I'd take the train, and you went from a halfway decent subway, U-Bahn, as I say in German, to a rickety, trashy subway car going onto the east side of the city. Get there, and it is like you really realize the difference between a vibrant, fully blooming capitalist culture to a drab, colorless, monotonous, stinky, by the way, culture. And that's communism and Yahtzeeism. And you'd be walking around, and let's say we'd be out with a group of people going to the subway, and we take different routes. And looking at the architecture. You couldn't tell the difference between Nazi architecture and commie architecture. Okay. And these societies were bloody, nasty social justice warriors. Okay. The guy I had a crush on, he lived in an apartment complex on the east side that they had to share a bathroom with the other apartments. And it was trashy. Now, that's all I could afford, so I you don't judge people. But still, when I remember talking to my friend afterwards, and it's remarkable what browbeaten people will put up with. What people whose hope have been taken away from them will put up with. Those cultures believe human beings, it's basically man. The perfect example, there's man's inhumanity to man, the camps, the executions, the massacres, and all the rest of the stuff. Not just in the 40s, during World War II, but go all the way back past Rome. Rome was the apex in the ancient world of man's inhumanity to man. Okay. And you will look at how badly the societies that are like that treat their citizens. The TV show Rome. Look how people lived. They didn't have any concept of individual liberty or that the individual was valuable. Again, man's inhumanity to man. Okay. All right. And what we have at Disney, when you see things changing subtly, is a slow gray washing and monotonous tones of people and customers not realizing it. The frog slowly boiling, doesn't realize it till it's too late. You walk into Epcot, where are the paintings? Oh, we just changed them. Okay. Those aren't as good, but okay. See? The slow, and this is what people like Carmen Smith want to do. They didn't at first want to make it so you noticed. Okay. They didn't want you to look at it like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? They didn't want you to go, wait a minute, right away. Eat away at the buildings. Make them all look alike. Various shades of monotone gray and black, and and people don't notice till it's too late. Okay. That's what's going on in the parks. Greeting people as good afternoon, dreamers, instead of ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What the, you gotta look at these people and go, what is your problem? What, do you really have to stick your fucking shit into everything? They'll say, yes, we do. Because look, first off, let's get beyond just the historical, political history of this. This shit is based in narcissism. All right, when you hear Nadine Smith talking, she brings up high school. When you hear Latoya Ravino talking, she brings up high school. Carrie Burke, I should say, talking, she brings up her kids. It doesn't have anything to do with, with making things equal, because it already is. It already is. Okay. It has everything to do with projecting their bullshit into everything. It's about them. All right. This is literally, Disney is being held hostage by a bunch of narcissists, people with narcissistic personality disorders, okay, who are very mentally ill, who probably need to go to a hospital or a retreat and quit their jobs and get a handle on themselves. They won't do it because as long as they're functioning, they're okay. The idea, and I'm going to say this, Nadine Smith actually does believe that the law in Florida really is a throwback to the 50s. I'm not even sure any of that shit she said was true. Okay? I would actually have to go through that, and then I'd have to actually really go look at primary sources before I make a judgment. Because let me tell you something. She can make history look like anything she wants. If she wants to make it look bad for a certain group of people, she can. Okay? I mean, let's talk about Song of the South. Song of the South was a African American folktale. A genuine, real folktale. But because Carmen Smith is a black woman, thinks it's racist, and it's part of her heritage, so how can it be? But think about it. This is how uneducated she is. I went to NYC. What, did you get a degree in stupid? But they replace it with the Princess and the Frog, which has absolutely nothing to do with African American heritage. It's like, it's one of those things where I'm like, we're living in, these people, but because they're costing Disney money And with the Zaslav, swinging the Nagin baseball bat everywhere he can, CNN's getting decimated right now. All right, that's huge. What does decimation really mean? Back in Rome, you had basically 100 soldiers and a centurion. If they did something wrong, or someone in that legion, part of the legion, did something wrong, that 100 soldiers would come out, and every 10th guy would be executed. Okay, that's decimation. And that's literally where it comes from. So anyway, I am looking at this going, I can't wait to see what else Culture Casino puts up there, because he hinted at more going on in Hollywood than just the Warner Brothers fiasco. So, and it's not really a fiasco. I think David Zaslav I'm going to say this is probably the best thing that has happened to Hollywood since Hollywood was created. Okay. I think is exactly what these people need. All right. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the ripple effect. And I mean the all-directional tidal wave that's happening. Okay. Again, the Amber Heard thing, Hey White Phoenix, is dragging everybody, including Brian Lord, into it. Okay, that's huge. Okay. Ezra Miller, probably fired. He's going to say, they fired me because I'm gay. And it's like, no, because we fired you because you're fucking crazy. Okay. And Zaslav's like, we can't afford to have somebody like you on the payroll. Go seek help. Okay. Oh, I forgot the Will Smith thing. Hey, C-Man. It's going to get interesting, because these aren't the only people that are going to get isolated and go away. Go away. I'm not going to say that Brian Lord is going to get isolated and sent away, but we don't know what the future holds. Heads of companies can be, you're gone. Okay. And I'm sure Ari Emanuel, who runs shit. Thank you, Culture Casino. I honestly cannot wait to see what else you got, because I am like, but this stuff is absolutely, it's gonna blow people away. I mean, look, again, just because Brian Lord is the most powerful agent in Hollywood now, doesn't mean when he walks out of the courtroom that he'll have his job. Okay? We don't know what depths agents or lawyers are going to ask him. We don't know how he's involved in this. Okay? We find out that he was merely helping Amber Heard smear Johnny Depp. That's bad. That's really bad. Okay? And Ari Emanuel is going, I'm going to be number one, and I hate him. I hate him. He's the brother of Rahm Emanuel, and I think Rahm Emanuel, I'll give you an example of Rahm. Congressman will be in the locker room getting, on Capitol Hill, there's a gym there, and after working out, he'd walk up to them naked and start bullying them. He is basically Hillary Clinton's enforcer on the Hill. It's like, he's a little goddamn bully, and I can't stand that man. Okay? And he left Chicago in the hands of a little alien-looking dwarf. Okay? And I can't stand that guy. But watching them eat their own is going to be delicious. And again, this is going to affect every studio out there, because every studio, every company, Disney, Universal, Paramount, Viacom, name the company, are going to be going, if Ann Sarnoff can be fired, we can get rid of ours. And I guarantee you, despite the apology, Bob Chapek gave to the termites in Reimagine Tomorrow, that he's looking for a way to defund Reimagine and to get rid of these soulless, lifeless, propagandist weirdos, okay? Because look around you. They've made it untenable for Disney to do business in Florida. Okay, not that I don't think Chapek didn't see this coming. And in fact, I think he welcomed it. Rescind the Reedy Creek Improvement Act. That takes away Disney's ability to self-govern. Okay, fine. There's another law in the books, and here's the deal. Listen very closely. It makes, and it literally was passed, yes he did, White Phoenix. Literally was passed the day after, I think DeSantis signed the Parental Rights Act. It's about, basically, it's called the Stop Woke Act, I think. And it basically makes things like Reimagine and all that mandatory training illegal. You cannot force an employee to go through that. So basically, well, and that's the thing, is that I really think that this gives Chapek, and again, I know, Culture, if you're watching, again, that article in Wall Street Journal by Gerard Baker, wasn't just a random fuck this shit, I'm going to say what I want. That was Rupert Murdoch. That was Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch has the largest pile of shares in Disney. He can't be happy with this. Okay, so he had his guy do that, put that out there, and now it's like, oh, okay, now we get it. Now, guys, in about, oh God, what time is it? Oh, shit. In about 5 or 6 minutes, I gotta go because I gotta take Koji Bear to his vet's appointment. So I'm gonna be going pretty soon. But this is, Chapek has allies. Just a second. Chapek has allies that are slowly revealing themselves. I would even say that that phone call that he had with DeSantis was probably not a bad one. In fact, I would say that he said, you do what you have to, and we'll figure it out. Look, everything DeSantis is doing is playing into Chapek's hands. Florida can't afford to lose Disney. And let me tell you guys something. I see a lot of conservatives, and I'm a libertarian. I quit the conservative movement 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. Well, actually, when we moved here and I met my congressman. Great former Army helicopter pilot. Has seen action in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he's a great guy. The 10th district is a great congressman. And we were talking one evening after a concealed carry rights conference, and he told me that Paul Ryan had basically tried to primary him because he supported President Trump. Let me explain this area. This is probably one of the reddest places in the country, literally, okay? Trump signs everywhere, everywhere. And I mean from one end of the district to the other, okay? And because Paul Ryan is part of the machine, and talk about disappointment. If I ever have a chance to tell you how I know of Paul Ryan, I'll tell you. But I think I've said it before. But I've had interaction with him when I was working for Mr. Arby. Why would you do that? First off, the seat is safe. Okay, so why would you try it? Oh, I know, because he's supporting the mean tweeter. What the fuck? I mean, look, guess what, guys? The rhinos don't want to keep their promises to you. Shocker, I know. It took me a long time to admit that, okay? It took me a long time. But the difference between like a Romney and Obama is how fast the water's going to boil the frog, okay? All right, now we've got the boiling water on high, and people are starting to go, what the hell? Okay, boiling water was stopped for 4 years. Now it's back on, and it's on like that because they want to implement their Green New Deal and all the rest of this shit. Well, it ain't gonna happen. There's going to be a lot of right-wingers showing up on Capitol Hill in January, and it's going to be a super majority of Republicans. Now, I don't want to talk about that, but, okay, there are people out there that have seen the Zoom call videos or have read about it. They go to Tucker Carlson, they go to Sean Hannity, whom I've actually had conversations with. They go to Benny Arthur Carlson, who's actually, I've talked to him before. And they take their marching orders from them. I'm going to tell you something. Boycotts don't work. Okay? Repeat after me. Boycotts don't work. It's better with this carrot and the stick approach. If they do something good, Mandalorian, here's a carrot. If they do something stupid, Loki, take the Negan baseball bat. Okay? But do not let somebody who's making money off of your rage, I call it rage prawn, like them, affect how you think, okay? Don't let them. And the reason why is because you're not helping the situation. They exist very happily making money as long as these people in the Zoom call and Kathleen Kennedy and all the rest of these people are there causing trouble. Okay, they can point, oh no. And they don't, look, I'll leave you with this. I've said this before, but I think there are new people watching. Florida has a supermajority of Republicans. Ron DeSantis did not get elected in a vacuum. I have friends of all stripes who've left New York City. They're Republicans. A gay couple, Bruno and Lee, live in Palm Beach. Another gay couple, John and Bruce. I'm gonna probably, I may have both of them on, both couples on sometime. Matt Bob Chapek was the one that leaked those videos. He was the one that leaked it, okay? 80,000 people work in Orlando for Disney. And then you take around the surrounding businesses, the restaurants, the hotels, the other tourist attractions. How many of those people do you think voted for that Republican supermajority? How many of those people do you think actually support Parental Rights Act and the Stop Woke Act? A good number. There are Democrats in Florida who support both too. Okay, it is time to stop the us against them. Them is a very small minority of bullies who pretend that they're victims. Okay, Victoria Alonso is not a victim. She's not. Look at her. Go look at the article where she was like, I had a 45-minute meeting with Bob Chapek, and I asked him, why can't we be free? Can't we? Like, you fucking are. You are. No one cares. You cow. Stop it. They want to be the ones in charge. And ultimately, and they want to be able to have full reign to do whatever they want. in that time, because of people like Rupert Murdoch and outside forces pressuring, like the advent of and the ascension of David Zaslav, are going to change all that. Okay? Anyway, I think we are on the verge of some good news. Let's see. There's going to be a big panel for the upcoming stuff, the first day of celebration. There's some other stuff. Oh, and there was a picture that looked like it was taken from the Ahsoka, a leaked photograph, and it was from a fan film. Just so you guys kind of know that. What else? I'm gonna have to go through. There's not a lot going on. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And if you notice that the prequels or the sequels are not there, I say what you want, but the sequels are dead. I mean, look at the utter failure of the Galactic Hotel. When I watched that little battle between Kyle Ron and the 2x4 that talks, I was like, what the fuck? It's just, they can't fill that hotel. It is a disgusting mess. Blame Kathleen Kennedy and blame Bob Iger. Don't blame Bob Chapek. Bob Iger left him with a fucking mess. As far as I'm concerned, the club can kiss my ass. He should fire everybody who was involved with all that. I mean, Reimagine Tomorrow should go. Defund it. And what they can do, this is what I think is, here's a little bit of information I'm going to leave you guys with because I really got to go. Peter Rice, who is one of the guys that Walt Disney World Pro mentioned. I think he hired like Latondra Newton or somebody like that, and he sits on the Walter Keitz Foundation board, which is meaningless. Zaslav sits on that board. Who cares? I mean, he may be up for a role at Warner Brothers. And if he takes it, pray he does, that gives Chapek the impetus to defund all that shit and make them go away. And do not be surprised if Pixar goes on the block. Yeah, you're right, White Phoenix. Anyway, so guys, I gotta take the furry bear. I'll show you. He's back here. Koji, say hi. There's Koji Bear. I gotta take him to the vet. It's his annual checkup. He's getting kennel cough vaccines and some other things, and he's gonna get weighed. And then I've got to go get a new ID at the Navy Yards, because mine's up. So I'll see you guys later. I'll see you around the galaxy. Anything big happening, I'll be around to talk about it. He's a good boy. He's a very good boy. See you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be safe. And till next time, may the Force be with you. And remember, the Wookiee bartenders, 20%.